All right, so welcome. We today are talking about how to eat healthy on a budget. And my name is Jessie Lane Lee, and I am so excited to get started. I started this presentation because I have so many clients who are always asking me and saying that they want to eat healthy, but it's just too expensive for them. And that is simply not true. So today I'm going to give you lots of great tips so you can eat healthy on a budget without spending tons of money, because I know you don't have that money to spend. So here's a quick overview of what we're going to be covering today. I'm going to start by introducing myself, and then I'm going to give you my tips how ditching your morning latte, packing a lunch, trying Meatless Mondays, being a savvy shopper can all help you save money. A little bit about my cookbook, Healthy Fresh Salads, and we'll end with a summary so you remember what is going on and you can walk away with all these great tips. And also feel free to ask questions in the chat box, and if you're watching the recording, any questions you've got, just send me an email, info@jessielanewellness.com, and I would be very happy to answer them for you. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Hello, my name is Jessie Lane Lee, and I am a holistic nutritionist, cookbook author, and founder of jessielanewellness.com. And on my website, I sell my cookbooks, and I also share lots of delicious, healthy, whole food recipes there for free. I have lots of freebies on my recipes. I think there's 3 free ebooks there that you can check out. They're all really awesome, value-packed, and you guys got one today for registering Healthy Eating on a Budget, so you have that all ready to go. So we're going to get started now with the presentation, and we'll get into these awesome tips. So the first tip I have for you today is to switch your morning latte for green tea at your desk. Now, your morning latte can get so expensive, especially when you get the fancy ones. Right now I'm obsessed with these macadamia nut milk lattes. OMG, they are like so good, but they are so expensive. So it's really important that morning latte, because you can spend up to $800 a year on your morning latte. That is so much money. And you can save that if you just switch to something like green tea that you can enjoy at your desk. Still gives you the process of getting up from your desk, going to the kitchen, boiling water, chatting with other coworkers while you boil that water, and then making that tea. And you're still going to get caffeine if that's what you're looking for. But you're going to save so much because you can buy a really nice box of organic green tea. It is not very expensive, and it will last you for a while. You'll save so much, like $800 a year, as I mentioned, by switching to green tea at your desk. Die-hard coffee person, then just buy some nice organic coffee and make your own, because you will also save so much that way. Buying Starbucks and lattes can just really get expensive. Tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to brown bag it, to pack your lunch. Now this is so important because number 1, packing your own lunch is going to guarantee that you actually get a healthier lunch. Because anything you make yourself, you can control what goes in there. You can make sure you're using only the best ingredients and getting all the nutrients you need. So what I have pictured here is my everyday salad, which is in my cookbook, Healthy Fresh Salads. And it has it has seeds, it has beans, it has carrots, it has cucumber, tomato, there's lettuce at the bottom with a delicious homemade vinaigrette. And it is so good. If you eat your lunch out every day, you can spend up to $26 a year on lunch. Think about that for a second. $2,600. $2,600. That is a lot of money. With all that money, you could get organic fruits and vegetables delivered straight to your door every week for a full year. And then you can use those organic fruits and vegetables that you get delivered to make a healthy lunch. It does take some planning. It does take a little bit of extra work to plan ahead and make your lunch, but it is not hard at all. My favorite lunches are salads. You can make a big salad on Sunday and eat it throughout the week. By Friday, it's going to be, not so good, so maybe you want to have a little backup plan for Friday. But it'll last you through Thursday, as long as you don't put the dressing on till the last second. Another really great lunch idea is leftovers. So when you make your dinner, make double or even triple. Again for lunch and then for dinner another night. So use up those leftovers. Make your lunch. It's going to guarantee you eat healthy. Because if you go to work and you have a lunch already made in your bag, you're going to eat it. You're not going to be tempted by coworkers who come by and say, hey, want to go buy some fast food, some McDonald's for lunch? No, because then the lunch you packed will go bad. So it's really a great way to improve your health and to save money by making your own lunch. So again, guys, any questions? I keep on clicking around over here to check the chat. Please ask them. I am happy to answer any questions that you have, because that's the whole point. If you've taken the time to come live, then you get the added bonus of being able to ask me all of your burning questions. So next tip is try Meatless Mondays. When I'm working with clients, I always recommend they eat organic meat. And this is because the conventional meat process has lots of antibiotics and hormones and just tons of stuff injected into those animals that we really don't want to be eating. So it's really fun to play with your proteins and try Meatless Mondays, because organic meat is actually pretty expensive most of the time. So the picture I have here is of my Japanese Caesar salad. And the great sources of protein we can find here is organic edamame, which is a soy plant, but definitely go organic there, because genetically modified soy is super common in Canada and US, and we really want to stay away from that. I also have roasted chickpeas. This add a really great crunch to the Caesar salad, and they're going to be like a crouton except for they're chickpeas, so they have protein and fiber, and they just taste awesome. They also make a really great snack too. I have black sesame seeds on here, really great source of protein and calcium. And there are cashews, so you can't really see them as much. So Meatless Monday is going to allow you to start playing around with different sources of protein. You don't just have to rely on meat. There are some really delicious plant-based sources. So buy some new beans, play around with it, add that diversity to your diet. Eggs are another great source of protein that you can buy organic or them well from the farmer's market. They're not that bad expense-wise, but they're a great source of protein. You can do edamame. You can do organic tofus. Organic tempeh. If you've never had tempeh, it's delicious. I highly recommend trying it out. So there's so many sources of organic protein. It's a really great idea to mix it up in your diet, play around, have fun with something new, and try Meatless Mondays, because it's really fun and it'll save you a lot of money as well. Question here. Do you recommend using mason jars for salad? What is your recommendation for transporting the salad? Great question. So mason jars are a really great way to transport your salad for sure, because they're glass. We always want to stay away from plastics because they're going to start leaching chemicals into our food. So I love mason jars for that. The one thing I do find with mason jars though is that they're kind of narrow, so it's hard to like eat out of them unless you have like a really wide mason jar. It's a little bit harder to eat out. So sometimes if you want to transport it in the mason jar and then dump it into a big bowl, then that is a really great way to transport your salads. What I did when I was still working a corporate job is I bought 4 really big glass salad, or well, not glass, but glass storage containers. So I had 4 big ones. They were the ones with like the lock lids. So the lids were plastic, but the bottoms were glass, and the lids were non-BPA. And also the food wasn't sitting like on the lid, so I wasn't as concerned. And I really wanted to make sure it had those clicks, otherwise it would leak all over my bag. So anyways, I like to buy 4 of those really big ones, like salad size ones that you can fit a nice big salad like the size of your head in. And I would start prepping my salad on Sunday, and I put the veggies, like the heavy veggies, at the bottom of all the bowls or the storage containers, and then I would put the lettuce on top. And then I had these tiny little ones that I would put the salad dressing in. And then usually I'd tuck that inside, put a fork in it, lock the lid, and my lunch was packed for 4 days of my week. So getting those big glass storage containers are really great. There's also stainless steel ones that are a little bit lighter. So that's another really great option for that as well. So hopefully that answered your question. We have someone else commenting saying they love the idea of chickpeas. Can you cheat and buy the chickpeas? Yeah, so there you're gonna see it coming up more and more where people have roasted chickpea products. I know there's a nutritionist, Shannon, who has a product called Yes Peas, delicious roasted chickpeas. I know it's available in Canada. I'm not sure worldwide where they're at with their distribution, but that will save you time. But to make the roasted chickpeas, it's so easy. You just take even just the canned ones, especially if you're gonna do canned, look for like one of the organic ones or something, especially the ones that are cooked with kombu. Gonna reduce the magicalness of those beans. You just throw them on a baking sheet at 400 and cook them for like 25 minutes. I like to put a little bit of coconut oil, some spices on there to spice them up, but it's really easy to do and they make a really great snack. I love them. And they're great to add that crunch to salads as well. So our next tip is, there we go, is to eat more fruits and vegetables. Now, intuitive, because a lot of people think that fruits and vegetables are more expensive. Guys all got a copy eating on a budget ebook. So you know in there I have some great tips for buying fruits and veggies on a budget. Detail there, so I'm not going to do it here because more fruits and veggies, really great way to save money, way to get more fruits and veggies into your life and to get all those nutrient benefits because fruits and vegetables are so nutrient dense. You're going to get your biggest bang for your buck nutrition-wise in veggies. And my next tip is how to become a savvy shopper. So all of us need to learn how to be smart shoppers, and there's a lot of really great ways to do this, and I'm going to share some with you now. So my favorites. Number one, plan your meals for the week and stick to that shopping list. So we went into this in detail in my last round of webinars where I talked about meal planning, how to develop a meal plan, and how to develop your shopping list. The reason it's so important to stick to the shopping list is because then you're going to know exactly what you need. You're only going to get what you need, and you won't end up with really expensive organic fruits and vegetables at the bottom of your veggie drawer come the next week rotting. Just wasted them and thrown that money away. So if you plan it out and stick to that list, you're going to only get what you need and you're going to use it all, so you have no waste. Because isn't that the worst? I get so mad at myself when I end up throwing something away that was perfectly fine, but I just forgot to use it. So planning your meals and sticking to the list is going to help a lot with that. The next one is to shop the perimeter of the grocery store and stick to whole unprocessed foods. So shopping the perimeter is where you normally find your fruits, your veggies, your meat, your dairy, stuff like that. It's the whole food. You may need to wander into the aisles to maybe find some grains or some beans, stuff like that. But the most part, you're going to be able to find things around the perimeter. I recommend shopping that perimeter, sticking to your list, because it'll keep you out of the aisles where you see all the junk food, the processed food, where in some cases it seems cheaper, but in the long run it's not. More on like chips and pre-made sauces, pre-made, I don't know, and realistically, if you eat a microwave dinner, full, probably not. Like those things are so low in nutrients that maybe it'll keep you full for an hour and a half. But if you make a nice big hearty home cooked meal, it's going to keep you full for hours. So you're not going to have to eat again. And then if you have one of those small little dinners, you're going to be hungry again in the evening, you're going to get snacky, you're going to have some chips, some candy, whatever. You're going to be snacking on things that you just really don't need to be eating. So staying away from those unprocessed food is going to help your waistline, it's going to help how you feel overall, and it's going to save you a lot of money. And when you stick to that perimeter, you avoid all of the sales that kind of just take you in, and you're like, oh, but it's on sale, so it's got to be, I'm saving money, it's on sale. If you weren't going to buy it in the first place. I know, I do this all the time too, but it's something to start getting used to, not just buying it because it's on sale. All right, so the next one we have here, and this is one I'm sure we've all heard before, but to snack before you shop and to shop alone. So when we go shopping hungry, I'm sure you've all been there, you get snacky and you end up buying stuff that you normally wouldn't buy. You end up buying things like, you end up buying other, I don't know, snacky items. Maybe you go to the pre-prepared food area and you end up buying like those potato wedges. Oh my God, I love those. But oh goodness, they're deep fried and they're just full of stuff. And you're spending money you don't need. So when you go hungry, you end up shopping, you end up in those processed food aisles and you're grabbing things that you're hungry for. And when you're hungry and snacky, it's usually the unhealthy stuff. So you're gonna buy stuff that you just don't need to have in the house. Shopping alone is another great one. I know when I was a kid, we'd be grocery shopping, and whenever I thought my mom wasn't looking, I would look around and grab something sugary and sneak it in the cart. And then we get to the checkout, and she'd be like, where the heck did this come from? But we're already at the checkout, so I guess I'll buy it. You know what it was that we'd always grab? Those Viva Puffs. Did you guys ever eat those? Like the little marshmallows with chocolate and a cookie at the bottom and like a weird jam thing in the middle. I don't know why. My sisters and I love those. The funny thing was, if we went grocery shopping with my dad, he'd see that in the cart and be like, oh, great choice, girls. Pretty funny. But anyway, shopping alone, especially without your kids, can speed it up, so it's going to save you time, and it'll make sure that you only get what you need. And making sure you snack before is a really great idea. And my last tip, we like to keep these webinars short, sweet, and to the point. My last tip is to buy pantry staples in bulk. So this is really important because this is going to save you tons of money. So I encourage you to look at your pantry. Think of things that you're constantly buying and buy them in bulk, because then you're not buying them every single time you go to the grocery store. And when you buy in bulk, you save so much money. And there are great sources of organic bulk places. I know Bulk Barn, if you're in Canada, has really great Canadian organic stuff that is in bulk, and they have non-organic as well. If you're in the States or in Canada too, Whole Foods has a great bulk section. Big Carrot has a good bulk section. So look for those places where you can buy it in bulk. And then you can get kind of hipster and store it in like nice jars and have it on a shelf like you see on Pinterest. Or what I recommend is storing your seeds and nuts in the freezer, because you don't want them to denature and they have volatile oils. So you don't really want them on a shelf on a counter. But things you can decorate on a shelf would be like grains that have a longer shelf life, and dried beans also have a very long shelf life. So buying those things in bulk will save you tons of money. It'll save you time as well, because then you won't be running out to the grocery store all the time to buy them. And then the last thing on this slide was to really make sure that you have those staples on hand, because for days when you just don't have time to make something, you're going to have healthy things on hand to quickly whip up a meal. So that's why I really recommend having those staple pantry items, buying them in bulk, saving you time, money, and making sure you have healthy stuff on hand at all times. So the bulk items I mentioned were seeds, nuts, grains, dried beans, stuff like that. All right, so those are all of my tips. And if you're someone who needs more inspiration, I highly recommend checking out my cookbook. It is called Healthy Fresh Salads, and it has over 30 recipes that are really creative, really unique, really fun, and not boring at all. Because so many people tell me their salads are way too boring. But salads can be so delicious and so nutrient dense and not expensive. You don't have to spend tons of money to create a salad. So you can find it at jessielanewellness.com/healthy-fresh salads. And if you scroll down to the main window where the chat box is, there's lots more information on that. Here's a little sneak peek inside so you can see what it looks like. So this is what it looks like inside the digital version, which you can buy on my website. And I've got the non-digital. I'm so excited. It is on Amazon.com. You can check it out. See if I can do this without, full page pictures here of all the recipes, so you can really see what you're making. And there's colors, and they're just beautiful and so delicious. There's quinoa salad, there's kale. Oop, there's your mason jar. Yeah, this one for sure in the mason jar, I would definitely pour it into something before eating because it's too big to eat that. What else? There's another quinoa one. Just so many different salad recipes, all really unique. So the digital copy is available on my website, jessielanewellness.com, and that is $8. And the print copy paperback, which is 95 pages, beautiful pages, is available on Amazon.com for $16 US, but it ships all over the world. So I ordered this one on Amazon just to make sure it worked. So I'm in Canada and I got it. So there you go. You can find that online. And I also have another one. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Healthy dairy-free desserts for those of us like me that have a sweet tooth. Also digital, also online, also beautiful pictures. Yum! Delicious. Okay, so now we're going to do a little recap of everything that we learned today, and then I'll open up the floor again to questions. Oh, I see a question already. How long can you store frozen nuts? I love the webinar. Great information. The salad book is awesome. Yay, thank you. I'm so happy you enjoy the cookbook. So when you're storing frozen nuts, they will stay stored for a pretty long time, actually. Here, I'll switch back to my face. Hello. So when you're storing frozen nuts, it'll stay frozen for a while. I would say up to 9 months in the freezer, so you can buy quite a bit. I mean, I probably stretch my nuts. I stretch my nuts. Ooh. I probably stretch mine to about a year in the freezer, and they're totally fine. On a shelf, I wouldn't do it so long, though, because they're going to get air, they're going to have light, and they're going to have heat. So on a shelf, I would say maybe 3 months. Again, those are just real ballpark numbers. Another thing I like to put in the freezer is my flowers, too. If you're not using flowers really frequently, it's a good idea to freeze them because they're like even more volatile than nuts because they've been ground up. So all of those oils are exposed. And if you've ever baked with a flour that's gone bad, like you can taste it. Like it tastes off. A nut that's gone bad, like the flavor tastes weird because all the proteins and stuff is denatured in there. So it definitely will taste different and you will know it for sure. All right, so here's a little recap of everything that we covered today. So how you're going to save money. You're going to ditch the fancy lattes, buy some tea, have that at your desk, save $800 a year. You're going to brown bake it, making your own lunch using last night's leftovers or making a big salad to last the whole week. And you're going to save $2,600 a year. Woo, that's a lot. You're going to try Meatless Mondays, add some variety to your diet, save because meat, especially when organic, is quite expensive. You're going to eat more veggies. We love our fruits and veggies, the most nutrient-dense foods. They're so delicious, and they're not expensive. And the free ebook that I already sent you, Healthy Eating on a Budget, gives you lots of ways to get lots of products without spending tons of money. You're going to plan your meals and stick to your grocery list. So figure out what you're eating for the week, write it down, and that's all you're going to buy in the grocery store. It's going to save you time because you're going to get in and you're going to get out and you're not going to leave the things you don't need. And to continue that theme, you're going to shop the perimeter of the grocery store and avoid processed foods. This will, again, make sure you're not buying those unhealthy things and spending money on low density, low nutrient dense food. You're going to snack before shopping and you're going to go alone so that you're not hungry, picking up junk food, and you don't have someone else in the family throwing junk food in the cart when you're not looking. And then finally, you're going to buy in bulk because all those pantry items, you'll save so much money if you buy them in bulk. So now I have a challenge for you. I want you to choose one of those money-saving tips and try it next week. And then I want to know how it goes. So I want you to send me an email, info@jessielanewellness.com, and let me know. Let me know how it goes. Did it work for you? Did you like it? Was it fun? Do you want more tips? I am here to support you, and I love your feedback because it is so important to me to hear how all of these things are working for you. And I get really excited when they work, and when they don't, I'm here to help you too. So choose one of those eight, I think there's 8 things we went over, and tell me how it goes. So here are the things again, there's 8 of them. What I want you to do now is to hop over to the comment section and let me know which of the 8, there's 8, which of the 8 you are going to choose. Or you can choose 2, you can choose 1, doesn't matter. Pick a reasonable number that's going to work for you, and then you can slowly build on it every week and see all the money savings you're going to get. So thank you guys so much. I had so much fun chatting with you. And don't forget that I'm going to stick around for questions. And if you're watching the recording, you can send any questions you have to info@jessielanewellness.com, and I would be more than happy to answer them for you. And I also wanted to remind you about my cookbooks. You can buy them on my website or on Amazon. They are healthy fresh salads and healthy dairy-free desserts. Delicious recipes, over 30 recipes in all of them. Great cookbooks. The digital for both is $8, and the print is like the paperback. This one is $16 on Amazon. This one's on Amazon.ca. So if you're in Canada, you can get this one on .ca. This one is on .com only right now, but it's not so bad. I think after shipping, this one was $23. So it's pretty much just the shipping's not very expensive. It's just a conversion. 16 US, you put it to Canadian, and that's what you get. So thank you guys so much. I'll be here for another 4 minutes answering any questions that you have. And if not, then I hope you have a fantastic evening. So I'm just going to go over and see. Oh, great. We have lots of stuff here. Do you make your own flour and freeze it? Yes, I do. I love to make my own flour. It is so cheap. Another really great money-saving tip. Make your own flour. If you have a really great food processor, like I have a Vitamix and I have their dry blender. So I make almond flour in there. I make quinoa flour. I make oat flour. Oat flour, you don't need a good blender to do. Oats are really soft, so you can do it with a regular blender. What else? I've made millet flour, buckwheat flour. I mean, it's so easy. So I'll make my own in like a big bag and throw it in the freezer. Yeah, really easy to do. Because buying like almond flour is so expensive. The one thing you'll find though when you make it yourself, I can't get it quite as fine in my Vitamix as they do in the stores. But I think I probably could if I did smaller batches, but I don't. Another comment, excellent info. If I drop off, it's because the battery died. Okay, good to know. Make a plan and stick to it. Yes, I love that. That's a really great one. We're going to be making our plans. We're going to stick to it. This is going to allow us to eat healthy food because we're going to have everything we need to make those healthy meals. We'll be really quick in the grocery store, and we'll save so much money because we'll be eating at home instead of out at restaurants, which ends up costing so much money. Someone else is saying they will be eating more veggies and fruits in meals. Yes, and this is the time to do it. The fall harvest is coming in. Fruits and veggies are so abundant right now. So it's a great time to take advantage of it. Buy those fruits and veggies. And there's a lot of tips in my free ebook that you guys all got that talk about how to buy those really, really cheap. And now is the time to do it because you can buy it at the farmer's market on sale and then freeze it and then have it later. That is awesome. So if you guys have any more questions, we still have a few more minutes. I can answer them. Just put them in the chat box. I'll give you guys a couple seconds because sometimes it's a bit of a delay, and then we will say goodnight. And while I wait, I will drink my coconut water. It's so good. I love coconut water. It's like the best. But I do dilute it because I find on its own it's like too much. So I do half coconut water, half water, and it's delicious. All right, so I don't see any more questions coming in, so I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you live in Canada, then it's really exciting. Tomorrow I'm going to be on CTV's Your Morning. So tune in at 7:15. It's a nationwide program. So if you're anywhere in Canada, go to CTV at 7:15 Eastern Standard Time. So depending on where you are, you can figure out what time zone that is. And I'll be talking about the health benefits of bitter foods, which is so exciting and delicious. Oh, great. We have another question here. Organic do you buy versus non-organic? That is a really great question. And to be honest, for me, it really varies with the seasons. And I did a whole blog post on this, but a quick summary would be I try to buy things on the Dirty Dozen list organic because those are the ones that have the most pesticide residue. And then other things, it's really just hit or miss. Sometimes even if it's on their Dirty Dozen and it's like quadruple the price of non-organic, I'll just go for the non-organic and peel it because a lot of the pesticides reside in the peel. In my cookbook, actually Healthy Fresh Salads, I talk about if you're not buying organic stuff, how you can properly wash it so that you're able to wash away a good amount of those pesticides. So I don't know where it is in here. Somewhere in here. Anyway, so that's a really, oh, here we go, cleaning it. So it talks about different ways that you can clean it really well. Another thing I like to do is just to buy local and talk to the farmers, because a lot of farmers aren't certified organic, but they still use organic practices and aren't using pesticides. So you can do that as well. Awesome. Well, hopefully I answered your question. You are in the States, but Google, yes, I'll be posting links to CTV for sure. Usually they're pretty fast, so I should be getting a link at some point tomorrow afternoon, and I will definitely share it with you for sure. So even if you're in the States, you'll get it. If you're in Canada, then you'll get to watch it too. All right, well, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been such a pleasure. I can't wait to hear how these money saving tips work for you. Again, you can email me info@jessielanewellness.com. All right, everybody, I hope you have a fantastic evening. Bye.